character in Dogma. Matt Damon's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Take that, you hipsters.
Exactly.
Jeez.
No green, horny. No, that's not right.
That's
horned guy. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
That's one horny stegosaurus.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Anyway.
So we all, we're welcome to the podcast, the Bite Me Podcast, episode 15.
15.
Yeah, my name is Adam West.
We're 1/3 of the way to 45.
Well, you math way too quickly.
That's 3 times 15, Adam.
But still,
I think that
I use words.
What's funny to me is like you chose to call me out on math instead of being like, why is 45 some significant number? Like I just made something like completely arbitrary up, and you got mad at me for mathing and not just like making some artificial arbitrary anniversary of our podcast.
Well, 45 is a good number.
It's a good number.
Why?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because I'm like
Half a 90?
I'm 5.5 years away from that number myself. I don't know.
Ooh, God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm turning 40 this year.
Me too. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I'll be
If I
40
was
before
twice
you.
as old
You
as
will.
I am now, and then you would subtract 5 from that, and then that's
I hate him so much.
Man, you don't even have a
Then I'd be
calculator in
45.
front of you.
I hate him so much. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm Cliff Johnson.
Dylan.
That's just Dylan.
Just Dylan.
He's like Cher.
Not
The artist
not quite.
formerly known as Picasso.
The liar. Doesn't matter. What have you been playing, Adam?
Oh, I don't know what have I been playing.
Adam, Dylan, what have you been playing?
I played all kinds of stuff, sort of.
This is Cliff's first show back from his little trip to California, so we're all a little today.
I think we're real excited to have him back.
Well, I drank
happy
too
to
much
be here.
coffee. I think I'm like, instead of going up with the caffeine, it has just killed me. So
I haven't drank my coffee yet, so we'll see. Gonna drink it during the show.
that'll be fun. Like, I feel like I'm wired for sound right now.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Okay.
Well, I say sort of because I don't know how many games Cliff played, so I'm not going to like be like, I played all kinds of stuff. And then I'll
I
just
got
get put
2
to shame.
weeks worth of games.
So
Right. What have you been playing, though?
I played some more Until Dawn. I'm going to play that more before I come back to that.
I don't want to go back to last week's episode too much, but dang, that game sounds real fun.
It
Yeah,
sounds
it
real fun. So
sounds good.
I want to experience a little bit more of the game before I revisit that. Because I didn't play it as much as I would have liked to play because I just want to finish it.
Yeah.
And I played some more Overwatch. I got all my game consoles hooked up in the new place.
Nice.
So I can play whatever I want. And then I played Rocket League.
Oh.
I want to
for
clap,
you.
but I don't know how that comes
Yeah, you can
through
clap,
on a
that's fine.
microphone. There you go.
I'll
But
throw in some applause. The host.
Rocket League was on sale on PS4 recently, right? So I bought it again. So now
You
I
bought
have
it again.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's on
yeah,
the
yeah.
Xbox.
Okay, gotcha.
So now we can play with whoever.
Yeah, we
whenever.
need to like set up a time. We'll set up a play date,
Yeah.
and it's just like my kid, and we'll set up a play date. And we'll all play Rocket League together.
We should
But
get our gamer tags and stuff online.
We should. I don't know what mine. I don't know how mine's spelled honestly. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm bad at that stuff. but-
Mine's easy.
we'll throw it somewhere.
Yeah. That way people can stalk us.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'd like
really
to have
weird.
some friends. I don't think I have any.
I just looked up. I'm like, I have 5.
I don't have any PlayStation friends.
Oh,
so
I don't have any PlayStation friends either.
I will
I'm not even
auction
friends with
off-
either of you. So
I will auction off my first friend. Go to the highest bidder.
no one will pay for that.
That's fine.
2 bits.
2 bits. It starts at 2 bits. We'll check back in next week and see where the bidding
It's just like Groundhog
remains.
Day.
So
But
you've been playing Rocket League on the PS4 then?
I just played on the PS4.
Okay,
I was playing on the Xbox before.
What
but
do you think of the controls on the PS4 as opposed to the Xbox?
Did not feel different to me at all.
Mm.
Felt identical.
It was real weird for me. I had to remap a bunch of stuff.
Huh. That's interesting because
I remapped my Xbox
picked
too,
it-
though. So
I picked it up and just after like thinking through which buttons were what, it was the same.
oh, weird.
So
I remap them honestly though on the Xbox too, so that could be the
So,
difference.
yeah.
I moved my air brake to a different thing.
Okay.
So
yeah, I play with the default controls, but that was fun. I probably played a dozen or so games.
nice.
My first game was absolute trash, which was kind of just I think figuring out
Right.
the controls
knowing where
again.
everything's
But
at.
after that, I was like, I was scoring more than I probably ever have.
That's
So
awesome.
At least I got like 1 hat trick, 1 game.
On the
and
flip
then-
side, he was also smurfing. So
I'm not. It's not like I was.
that's
that
true.
high of
You're
a
only
level
a
before,
semi-pro
so,
on the Xbox, aren't you? Yeah.
So
What's smurfing?
We talked about it last time. It's when you come in as a new character. Like, so he's
you
playing.
create a new account.
Yeah, he's a rookie in Rocket League, but he's played it for quite a few hours.
Oh. Okay.
So when I get it on the, I mean, I have it on the PS4, but when I play it on the PS4, I am a level, I don't know, I'm a high level expert, I think, in the Xbox, and I'll be a rookie on the PS4.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
To be fair, I was usually the only rookie on my team.
That's fair.
So we were usually it was usually like a rookie, semi-pro something kind of team comp. So
I've actually noticed that a lot lately in Rocket League, where it seems like you're getting teams that are done like that. I think it's because not a lot of people are playing non-competitive Rocket League, and so they're having a hard time making matches, depending on what time you play, especially.
Which, I mean, playing with better people is better for you.
Right. And I'm actually hitting the opposite side, where I'm actually playing with worse people, which I am the better player, which kind of sucks.
Then you're like, I'm real good, and then you find out you're not.
You're not. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's fun, so I hope we can all get on that and play.
It would be fun because I've got it, and I've been wanting to play with people that I know.
It'll be so fun to play that all, if the three of us got together and played it.
Yeah, maybe even Saturday or Sunday. Look at it.
I'm going to be in Portland this weekend.
Then let's not do it in Portland. Next week. I'm going to be at Comic-Con all weekend, too. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Gotcha.
Perfect. You want to go next, Adam? You want me to go?
Oh, sure. So I mentioned last week that I bought Final Fantasy XIV, the Realm Reborn online MMO, and I have now been sucked into that rabbit hole.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun. It's the last time I played an MMO was WoW, and I tried to get into it, and I had no idea what I was doing or how to do anything. So I was just like,
and that's really the only MMO I've played. Well, I've played that. I've played the Force. What's the Star Wars one? The Knights of the Old Republic, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I've played that. I've played a little bit.
The Old Republic.
The Old Republic, yeah. And I've played a little bit of ESO too, I guess. But how can you compare it to Warcraft? I mean,
yeah. From what I understand, it's similar.
Sure. So it's all real time combat.
Mm-hmm. It's all real time combat. I'm learning all kinds of things like GDC or GCD. Global cooldown.
Oh.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like, so when you hit your attack button, there's a little timer that kind of refreshes before you can use it again.
But why is it global?
Interesting.
Because the global cooldown, I want to say, is like 2.5 seconds in Final Fantasy for your basic attacks. And then, then your different attacks have different cooldowns.
Oh, so you don't just, if you have a sword, you can't just, spam the sword?
No. Nope.
So it's not exactly real time then.
It's, yes and, it's not real time, but it's not
turn-based.
It's not turn-based.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I want to say
I need
that
to see this now.
I think Warcraft's global cooldown is like a half a second or
but Warcraft didn't have, you could hit it. Your
just
individual,
your
basic attack you could hit all you wanted, but you had cooldowns on specials. So you could only cast fear so often. You could only cast, your spell casting had cooldowns.
I guess technically there is a cooldown, right?
Yeah, but it's milliseconds.
Within
you got to make a video out of it because I'm real curious how this works.
Oh, okay. It's fun. It's fun and it's real pretty.
Very cool.
And it's nice. So it was funny too. So I was playing off of my laptop's got the USB-C Thunderbolt connection. You can run everything out of it, but I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting the frame rates that my friend Victor, who also has the same kind of laptop, why I wasn't getting the same frame rates he was. Well, it turns out because the laptop, the graphics card in there, you can't get that pushed out of the USB, the Thunderbolt.
Really?
You have to plug right into the HDMI.
Oh, HDMI. That makes sense. Yeah,
so
you've probably got some sort of other weird graphics card in there as well.
Yeah, Intel integrated, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So even though it was running that, was running that on maximum at like 25 frames, which is not bad considering what it is. But I'm like, I don't understand. Now I'm getting 55 to 75 frames a second on max on a laptop.
Nice. And so you're playing that on the PC then?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Because I was going to go with the PS4 because this is the real cross-platform one.
Yeah, plays on everything.
Yeah.
Not really, but.
And once the first 30 days are free, but once you pay for that subscription, you don't have to have a PSN account.
Oh,
you don't have to pay for the PS Plus or the PSN stuff or any of that to play online Final Fantasy.
Fair enough. You just pay the $15 a month for Final Fantasy.
So, yeah.
Did you have to buy the game too?
Yeah, but I bought the game plus the DLC for $20.
Nice. Oh, that's not bad
so it's
at all.
$20, and I get a month free.
Nice.
So it's like I basically paid $5 for the game.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it.
How many months are you going to play this?
Well,
how much do you love it right now?
Oh, I love it a little too much. Because it's
forever.
And that's why I can't play MMOs. I absolutely adore them, but the gameplay loop in those are the kind of thing that'll get me fired from a job.
Well, and I did my first dungeon ever.
Nice.
And it was real nerve-wracking because I had no idea what I was doing. And I was praying to God that everybody didn't think I sucked terribly. But thankfully, I was playing with Kevin and our friend Victor. And then some random person because it was just a 4-person because you have 2 DPS, a tank, and a healer.
So they have pretty low-level raids in that, then, it sounds like.
That was just a dungeon. There's actual raids with multiple people, way more people, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
So I'm doing that. I'm trying to play through The Last of Us DLC but I'm not as hardcore into that. Just because I played Last of Us for so long.
That's how DLC's always for me. Like when I'm done with a game, I don't want DLC almost
but
ever.
But this DLC is really compelling because it's giving you the
heard.
backstory to Ellie and where she came from and how she got to where she's at.
Yeah, well, and I guess maybe that's it's not that I don't want DLC, it's that I don't want DLC. Like, I don't ever want to finish a game and like I'm going to jump right into the DLC. Like, I want some time.
Yeah.
So what is the Last of Us DLC? Is more story then?
Yeah, it's more the same.
And it's
but
just before?
Yeah, so this particular DLC is called Left Behind. It's all about Ellie and her friend that she was with when she figured out that she was immune and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that is.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's cool. I really like that. Finally finished Ori.
Ooh.
Ori and the Blind Forest. And I messaged you guys on Slack yesterday.
I enjoyed that greatly.
Yeah. Easily, that is my favorite game I've ever played.
That's so cool.
It's so good. It's so good. Like, and I even started over because once you're finished, obviously all the cinematics and everything are opened up and you can watch it and even interact with it because some of the cinematics are interactive.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, like the opening cinematic that you were like, oh, get ready,
It's so
because that
sad.
first 10 minutes, that whole cinematic, when they play it back, that's interactive. You
very
actually walk
cool.
through it.
Very cool,
But
yeah.
it's heartbreaking and it's so good. It's just such a good game.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's got to be on my to finish this year list, which
Yeah.
is as far out as I can commit to games right now. I'll finish it this year.
And it's funny, too, because I really thought that I spent a lot more time playing that game than I did. Because it seems like that's all I've been playing for, 2-3 weeks. But when I look back at the actual in-game timer, I only 10.5 hours is what it took. And I got most of the stuff. Now I'm actually going to go back through and get all the extra little things.
And you said you kind of played it in kind of a completionist kind of...
Yes-ish. I was trying to.
Yeah.
But then the last couple of areas that I went through, it was just so good. I wanted to get through it and see
Yep.
what was next and see
Yeah.
what was next. Now
Average
I'm
on
gonna
that
go
game,
back.
completionist, is only a little over 10 hours, so that's about right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, average time, if you just play the story, it's about 8.
Oh,
So
okay.
It's about average.
Cool. So I'm going to do that. And at some point, I'm going to pick up Resident Evil 7 again because I need to get back into that.
There's DLC coming out for that, and it sounds fun.
Man.
I think it's good.
Just so much zombie stuff, man.
Right? Yeah.
God. But it's good.
I mean, like, I have to give you credit because it scares the crap out of me. The thought of like just booting up that game scares the crap out of me.
And I can't decide if I'm going to stick with it in VR. I probably am because I've got it.
Yeah.
And there's somebody that I know that I saw on Facebook. They're playing through the whole game in VR.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything, traditionally. It's all in VR.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
I was talking to my buddy. He didn't play through it in VR, but he's played through it. He said it's great. He really, really loved the game.
And I've heard that like the
So-
first 2/3 of it are really great, and the last third's kind of meh. But I mean, the hour we watched you play, I was very, very. I mean, it was just fun, but it was very compelling. So I think it's great.
It's good stuff. What about you? You were on vacation, but it still looks like you managed
Yeah,
to pull off a
Well,
lot.
and I mean, I guess I can cheat a little bit. Like I haven't talked for 2 weeks, so I can pull back in some other stuff. I did play Rocket League actually while I was gone.
That's weird.
Yeah, right. The funny thing is, I brought my kid's gaming laptop. I'm like, in case he needs something to do, and he didn't touch it at all. But I played Rocket League on it. The Hot Wheels update came out, so you can now play.
Super excited about that.
It's fun. I only bought one of them because I'm on the PC and I don't play a lot on that. But they've got like. It's one of those things you have to go look at them because if you were probably our age, like me and Adam, like they're the Hot Wheels you had as a kid. I guess if you had a Hot Wheels, it's the kind of like, I don't know, old school, like 40s kind of like cool cruiser car with the skull on the front and then the super like Corvette-y looking car. It was fun. I bought the skull one for the PC and I didn't play a ton, but I played probably 5-6 games and it's just fun. I mean, the cars don't make a huge impact on how you play it, at least at the level that I play. Like I know that people that play it at a higher level than I do say that it does, that the hit boxes matter, but I don't know. The only one I've ever played that I felt that way was the Batman car, which I didn't like at all. It was really low profile and it's hard to play. But
The Batmobile?
yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I have to have it.
Of course you have to have it. You have to have it.
The problem
I
is
kinda
now
need
that
it.
I have Rocket League on multiple systems, I have to have it twice.
Yeah. But I mean, they're only $2 a car, so it's not like
But
outlandish.
now that's $4 a car.
That is true. I usually buy my DLCs on the Xbox. That's what I play the most.
Yeah.
But so that was super fun. Like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking, but I don't know. I really like the DLC, and I play so much of that game that I feel that like throwing an extra $2 $4 back every couple months is not harmful to me. And if it makes them be able to make more cool games like Rocket League, or at least continue to support Rocket League, or pay for the servers to stay online, like that's great.
Yeah, if it helps. It's a contribution.
Yeah, exactly. One, I know you guys talked about this a little bit last week, but I've been playing Hyperlight Drifter.
Yeah, how is it? Are you still enjoying it?
I've only played it. I've played maybe 2 hours of it, 2.5 hours of it, and it's really fun. Like you said, it's beautiful in that, like, just in the way they can make pixel-based games look now. Like, could you ever run that on a Nintendo? No, probably not. Or a Super Nintendo? Probably not. But the aesthetic is gorgeous. The gameplay, though, like at first I'm like, oh, this is exactly like Zelda. I'm like, or not even Zelda, A Link to the Past. I'm like, this plays like it. I slash bushes. I expect hearts to come out. They never do, but it plays like Zelda. And then you start getting to some of the areas with, I don't want to say bigger bad guys, but just like a lot of bad guys. And all of a sudden that game becomes crazy fast paced and very, very skill based. You don't have a huge amount of attacks. You've got kind of a hacky slashy, sword thing, but then you have this dash and you quickly, and a gun. You have a gun that you can use too. But the gun has a really limited number of bullets, and you refill your bullets by hitting bad guys with your sword. So it's kind of like Doom almost, where you have to hit people with your sword to refill your bullets. And so it's kind of this, you have to take that balance of, do you want to try and hit someone to get more bullets, or do you want to just kill them with your sword? And it very quickly becomes a very weird balancing act between like zooming out of the way of a guy who's charging you, or zooming out of the way of a guy who's shooting stuff at you, to like reach in and hit someone with your sword to try and kill him, then backing out and shooting with your gun, and then zipping out of the way. It's hard. It's shockingly hard. And that's the good side. The bad side of that game is, like you're saying, the aesthetic is there's no text. There's literally no text. So I have no idea what's going on. I'm collecting all these things and unlocking stuff, and I don't know why. And it's kind of frustrating.
I can imagine.
Not like in a like I'll never play this game again, but like I want to know what's happening. What's the story? So
see, and that's how I was with Inside. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, and you get a little bit of kind of what's going on. Maybe
Inside, at least I could go like, oh hey, I can make some suppositions about what's happening.
Right.
This game, I'm like, I don't know. I got more of these things. I guess that's good. I hope.
Well, and my friend Will, who said that we need to play this. He's already finished it. He finished it.
So it's not long. I think it's only like 8 or 10 hours. So I'm almost probably a quarter of the way through with it. So I'm gonna keep playing it because it's really fun, and like it's one of those games that you'll get killed and then go like, oh, I'm never going to be able to beat this. And then you'll try another couple times and you're like, oh, no, I can totally beat this. Like you feel like you're getting better at it, which is great.
That's why that's back to, not to bring it back to Ori, but that's one thing I liked about Ori. Not only was it just fun to play in a compelling story, but it was challenging to the point, or was never challenging to the point of wanting to throw your controller across the room, but challenging you enough to the point where it was like each time you would get just a little bit further and you're like, okay, now I know. And then you would finally, it would all click. And when you got through, I can't tell you how many times last night I would get through this one level, or I'd try and get through this area, and I get a little further, and I jump up and start screaming like, no! And when I finally did, I jumped up and was cheering, and Kevin looked at me like I was crazy, and the dog was just
Always Awakening that I played like maybe 3 weeks ago was kind of the same thing, where at first I'm just like, this is so frustrating. Then I went back and restarted the game and played through the first like 35 minutes to make a video of it. I'm like, oh, I've gotten so much better at this game. Like you don't really realize it until you kind of reset yourself. But yeah, Hyperlight Drifter is great. I'm really enjoying it. It's just I need to like go out to like Wikipedia and like, okay, boys, what's the story here? Hopefully someone knows. I want to talk one more game. I'm still playing Uncharted 4, although I'm probably going to send it back because
Do you GameFly everything?
No, I actually don't GameFly much at all. I pay for GameFly and then leave games sitting in my drawers. I've had Uncharted 4 for probably a month and a half, and I've played like 6 hours of it. But my Uncharted 4 story that I'm very much enjoying was I started the game out and it's like, what difficulty do you want? I think there's 5 difficulty levels, and I chose I just want the story. Like I want to breeze through this game. I don't want to die. I just want to see what Uncharted's all about because I've never played it. And I got to level 7, I want to say. And the last part of this thing is you're going through this kind of mansion to steal this cross, and then you've got to kind of steal it and then work your way out of the mansion. And then right at the end, there's this shootout with all these guys, and they shoot at you. You've got to get in this limo. And I've literally been playing this last shootout scene for probably an hour, maybe 2, and I'm
geez.
I just can't beat it. Like, if this is easy, what's the hard level like? Because I'm out of bullets, and these guys are bullet sponges, and there's a sniper and a guy with a machine gun, and it's just too hard. And so I was playing it last night, and I finally got through it. And I was like, yes, I finally did it. Opens up to the next level, and the same thing happens again. I get to this part, more guys. I'm
man.
like, what is going on here? And I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like, are there cheat codes for this game? Like, I'm not proud anymore. I just need to like get through it. And I pop open the menu for something, and at some point during my gameplay, I changed it from the very easy level to the one that they call crushing. Literally, that's what it's called. It's called crushing difficulty.
Amazing.
It's the one above hard.
Wow, and that would probably explain a whole lot.
It's real hard. And so I beat at least level 7 on crushing difficulty.
Well, there you could put that in your hat.
Right. Interestingly enough, as soon as I set it back down to like, hey, go real easy on me mode, it got real easy, which is really refreshing.
Real easy too.
It's actually really funny to watch because the guys go from, I don't know if the AI is significantly smarter, but the AI is definitely to some degree smarter. Like, they'll flank you.
They'll actually move, probably.
Yeah, they move, they flank, they throw grenades more. And it also introduces, like, there aren't machine gun nests in easy mode. There is in crushing. No. And so, like, it was really funny because I switched it back and I, like, booted into the game, and one of the bad guys just runs right in front of me. I'm like, pop in the back of the head. So it's a great game, and it's one that I will probably rent again, but I want to clear my gameplay list so I can get some Switch games. So
Oh, yeah, because you've got that on the way.
I've got that coming. And the one other thing I'm going to talk about, though, and this is game related but not a game, it's what I did when I was on vacation. I read a book called Ready Player One, which if you're a nerd, you've probably already read, but if you're not, it's a really cool story about like kind of near future times. I think it's set about 20 years from now, but after like the world's gone to hell because of climate change and economic insecurity and all these different things, and people spend a lot of their lives living inside of VR. This guy invented a VR system that people could get for cheap, and literally they spend their entire lives just inside VR. They go to school in VR and they do all this stuff. But then when the guy died, he left essentially an Easter egg and said, the person that can find my Easter egg inside this virtual world, and this virtual world is made up of hundreds of planets and people can create things and whatever, will win $1 billion. And so the story follows this kid who's what they call a gunter, and he's one of the people searching for this prize inside this world and just making friends and meeting people and meeting competitors. There's an evil corporation that's trying to find it first so they can use the $1 billion to take it over. It's really, really, really good.
Are they making the movie out of this?
It wouldn't shock me in any way. It's perfect for a movie.
I'm pretty sure that I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, and it's nothing new. So, I'm not like, oh my God, check out this new book. But if you haven't read it, like I've been hearing about it for probably a couple of years, read it because it's really good. If you like games, you'll probably like this one.
You're going to enjoy this. Ready Player One is coming out next year, the movie.
Nice.
Directed by Steven Spielberg.
Oh.
Yep. Olivia Cook, Ty Sheridan, Simon Pegg, T.J. Miller.
Oh, see, this could be real good.
It's going to be if Steven Spielberg delivers
because it could go either way.
Spielbergian movie. Yeah. It could be pretty good.
Yeah, but it was a great book. I really, really, if you like to read and you like video games, check it out.
Well, now
good.
I need to do that.
Yeah. Perfect. Should we talk news?
I have so much time to do.
Right.
Stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of, I read it on the plane, and I spent 14 hours getting from Seattle to LA, so I had a lot of time on a plane.
That's gross.
Nice. Yeah, news stuff. There's a lot of stuff kind of going on.
Definitely. It looks like Hearthstone. That sounds like something Dylan should talk about.
Yes.
You're
so
I don't even know how to pronounce that thing.
They just announced what the new Hearthstone expansion will be coming in April, and it's Journey to Ungaro.
Ungaro.
If you're familiar with World of Warcraft, you would know that.
I am, but I am not that familiar.
So it's a parent. I don't really know World of Warcraft either, but Hearthstone is in fact set in that universe.
No.
So in some way, I like that universe. But Ungaro is a prehistoric location where prehistory was preserved in time.
It's a prehistoric place where prehistory was preserved.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So there's going to be dinosaurs and stuff. So
cool.
everyone loves dinosaurs, right?
I like dinosaurs.
I love dinosaurs.
So that's exciting. They tease some of the new cards that would be a part of that. Shows off some of the new mechanics.
Nice.
What you can assume those mechanics will be within the game, and that will rotate out a lot of current sets and cards that are dominating the current meta for that game. And so the game is going to start changing pretty drastically in
When
April.
does that launch? Do you know?
Sometime in April. They haven't gave the exact date. So
That's cool.
exciting.
Excellent. So this next one also sounds like a Dylan thing because
So
correct
when I
me if I'm
asked
wrong,
about
but
this
do you
thing-
like wrestling, Adam?
I do not.
Yeah,
I did when I was like, well, I didn't really like it even when I was like 10 or 11. My dad did, but I just like, well,
Yeah,
yay.
I liked wrestling when I was 10 or 11. But Dylan went to WrestleMania. No, not WrestleMania. Sorry.
I went to SmackDown,
SmackDown.
Live when it came to Seattle probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I can get 100% behind that.
How did I not know you went to that?
It was awesome. I don't know.
How did I see? There's things that I don't know about.
See,
either
I
of
share
you,
an
and when
office with
stuff
him,
like-
and
yeah.
so, yeah.
So, but yeah, and it's funny because I saw this in our notes, and I'm like, why is this a thing? Because I love it. Because I love him, and I love it. And I'm like,
I don't
okay.
love John Cena. Don't.
You don't?
He loves
How
John
can
Cena.
you not love John Cena?
I like
I
wrestling.
literally don't
you
know
love John
anything
Cena.
about
See,
John Cena.
It's a different thing.
I love John Cena because he's fun.
He likes a Nintendo Switch. That's why I like John Cena. Tell us about
Yeah.
him.
Anyway, why are we talking about John
Anyway,
Cena?
John Cena is apparently helping to move Nintendo Switch units. So, Nintendo's thing is, since John Cena is this mix of athleticism and acting ability, he is as versatile as the Nintendo Switch.
Wait, shouldn't we have gotten The Rock? Anyway,
Well, I guess John Cena is the current.
Yeah, John Cena's like
is
the
the
new.
current face of
I like The
of
Rock more.
wrestling. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's doing as
Anyway,
versatile as a Nintendo Switch.
um,
This sounds like a real reach.
I mean, John Cena is very, very popular.
Oh, yeah.
So
And he's funny too. Did you see the movie that he was in with Amy Schumer?
yeah, I haven't watched it, but
Oh, he was great. Like he was.
what movie was that?
Oh,
Was that-
why am I totally blanking on the name of that movie where she played the sports writer? Or she wrote for a magazine and
Trainwreck?
Yes, Trainwreck. Thank you.
Thank you, Google.
Trainwreck was hilarious.
I have heard that is
and
good.
my favorite parts of the movie involve John Cena. That's why I say I love him, because in that movie he proves that he can be a true comic actor and deliver the most outlandish lines without breaking character.
Work. I got to admit, the only thing that I'm mad about with all these stupid Nintendo Switch events is that Nintendo of America is headquartered like what, 3 miles from here?
Roughly.
You know, their Western United States distribution center is 15 minutes from here,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not a single Switch event in Seattle.
yeah.
Like, I mean, come on.
So is John Cena doing like? Is he doing like media
look,
events? Like,
yeah, they're
in
actually
person?
they're doing like a kind of a road tour.
Yeah, like this little road trip thing where they do events in different.
There's going to be one in
Um,
Aspen, but not
yeah.
in Seattle. Come on.
And I think what the launch day will be at Madison Square Park in New York.
See, but like that makes sense. But
Like,
That makes
come
sense.
on, Reggie, I want one here.
but yeah, John Cena will be at. Oh, he might have already been at.
Yeah, it looks
an
like
event,
it.
I think.
Yeah, February 23rd.
Yeah, so this was last week, but he was in person.
Wait, I was in California on the 23rd. I could have gone
You
son
could have
John
gone
Cena
John
and the
Cena
Switch.
and the Switch.
Well,
See, the more you know.
that's what you get.
Oh well,
But I don't know. I just thought it was
it's
funny.
fun. Like,
It is fun.
I love everything they're doing. Like I know. I think we're gonna talk about Switch later, but
A little bit, yeah.
they're doing some cool stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they're due. I mean, at least they got the marketing down for this generation of their console, because I don't remember anything from the Wii.
No, it's been a while though.
Wii
Like
U.
I'm sure there was something.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
The Wii, they did it right. The Wii U, I think they were expecting it to just kind of keep on keeping on,
Yeah,
but it
didn't
didn't
work.
So
All right, should we ask our first listener question of the day?
yeah, sure, you go ahead.
So this one comes from Ryan, and he says, if we've already answered a question kind of similar to this, was if you could have a remastered game, which one would you like?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to spin this a little bit based on what he asked and say, if you could have a sequel to a game that didn't get a sequel, what game would you want it to be? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
My joke answer is Kingdom Hearts 3. I'd really like there to be a sequel to Kingdom Hearts
3.2.
But
You got 2.8.
I guess. Well, but 2.8 is not a sequel. It's some sort of, I don't know.
Right.
Kingdom Hearts 3 may come out, but I think it's been pushed back to 2018. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. I'd love that. I would actually like a legit sequel to Kingdom Hearts 3 or 6 in Japan. Like I know every Kingdom Hearts game is, or I'm sorry, not Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, a Final Fantasy 3-6 sequel. I know each one of those is kind of a reboot and kind of set in a separate world, but I loved that. I loved that world. It'd be really cool to get another one of those. I don't know. I'll keep thinking about it. Maybe something else comes to my mind. Do you have anything?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Do tell.
I would love another Mercenaries game.
Mercenaries.
I never played Mercenaries.
On the original Xbox and PS2, there was Mercenaries, and then on Xbox 360, PS3, there was Mercenaries World in Flames, I believe.
Oh, okay. I remember this box. I remember the cover art.
This game was dope.
Why was it so dope?
The first one especially. The second one was...
Is that Mercenaries Playground of Destruction?
Playground of Destruction.
So there actually was a Mercenaries 2, World in Flames.
Yeah, but I'm saying the next...
Like a
I want
continuation?
Mercenaries 3 now.
It was called No Limits. It was canceled. So it's
Wow, your dreams
completely
just
wide
That's
open.
the game I wanted.
Oh.
I wanted to play that.
I get behind that.
But this game is so cool. Like you would acquire money through doing these contracts because you're a mercenary, right? And with that money, you could just buy like aircrafts and airdrops and things, and they'd come just drop you RPGs and stuff, and
Oh,
pick them
that's
up and
cool.
just wreak havoc. So I mean, it was one of those early sandbox games, open world,
That's fun.
where you kind of had missions and you could kind of complete at will and chose how you wanted to complete those missions.
Can my next one be a sequel to Half-Life 2?
Yes.
Badoom-ching.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Duke Nukem?
No.
No.
I never played a Duke Nukem.
The first one was so good for the time. I never played the reboot or the sequel.
Choose your
but-
words
It was.
carefully, I don't know.
Well,
silly.
I mean, it wasn't great, but it was. I mean, it had. The technology in Duke Nukem 3D was incredible at the time, like absolutely incredible. And as probably someone who was 12 when that game came out, like virtual strippers were awesome. But, anyway, what about you, Adam?
I'm having a really hard time. Like the game that I remember the most, having the most fun, that I spent a lot of time with, that I would love to see another version of that on the way, and I mentioned it before we started recording, was, do you remember on the Super Nintendo a game called ActRaiser?
Yeah.
Did you ever play?
No.
So, okay, it was weird in that you played this deity, you played this god-like thing, whatever, and it was kind of like, I'm guessing it was along the lines of Populous or something, where you would build a town and you would farm, and you couldn't send natural disasters and destroy stuff and rebuild and whatever, but in order to gain more land, you would come down from the heavens in this body of a warrior with like a giant sword.
ActRaiser
And
was one of the ones that was like, it was like a dual genre game, right?
Yeah. So, and I loved it. I spent so much time playing that as a kid, and I know they made a sequel, but I want to say the sequel is just a straight up action game.
Yeah, I don't know. It came out on the SNES.
Yeah, it was. I mean, 25
I've heard
years
great
ago.
things about ActRaiser, and it's another one that I've not played. Did you guys ever
loved
play
it.
Black and White? Black and White was super fun. It was a really cool god game made by, I don't know, the dude who did Populous. I don't remember his name offhand. But that was super fun, where you could actually like pick up your followers, because you could be a happy god or an evil god.
Right.
And you could like pick up your followers and like fling them. And it was real fun.
Oh, and there was another game too. So that's the one. ActRaiser is what I'd like to see a continuation of, or a straight up sequel, not necessarily just remastered, but I'd like to
a new one.
Yeah. There was a game that came out, I believe, originally on the PSP, and I know it's been on Xbox as well, and other stuff. It's called Crush. And it is a game where you, at the time, the whole 3D thing was just kind of coming into, play, especially with the PSP. And you would crush. And what crushing means is you would flip from a 2D flat world into a 3D world.
Oh, very cool.
And it was a kind of a puzzler. puzzler/platformer-ish, and you would crush and you would switch from 3D to 2D and back and forth.
very cool.
And that would open up or close off different ways to get through to your goal. And it was really, really cool. And I know that it came out eventually on Xbox or Xbox 360, I think, but I'd love to see it, on the new gen. Even in VR, I think that would be a really cool game to do in some way in VR, not necessarily with the 2D part, but just, changing the way the world is around you to get through it and finding the right way to do it.
So I'm going to be real quick about these because it's almost off topic. While I was at Disneyland, one thing I really, really want in VR is maybe this is a sequel because it already existed on the Wii. Is you guys? Well, you've never been to Disneyland. Did you go do Toy Story Mania while you were there? It's in California Adventure, and it's like a Toy Story game, and it's like almost like carnival games where you shoot.
No,
it's super
that
fun.
I did not do. I did Buzz Lightyear's thing.
Yeah. I mean, not the same, but kind of same idea.
Okay.
And they already made Toy Story Mania for the Wii, but it wasn't very good. It was limited to 2-player. I want that game in VR, and I want it online because I think it would be super fun to compete against other people. I love that game. And at the same, Disneyland has a shooting gallery where you take a giant fake gun and shoot at things, and they pop, and headstones raise up and down. I was thinking that could be a fun VR game if you had enough options to do it too. Like there's cool things you could do in VR with that. But ActRaiser kind of made me think of something that I've always wanted. I want a combination RTS and Modern Warfare, Call of Duty game where you have a general who's controlling from a high level and saying okay, take these tanks over here and you guys go over here. But then all the people are you actually are a person inside. So when they say, hey, move this tank over here, you get the direction okay, tanks, go over here. Or, hey, platoon of, guys, go attack this thing here. And so you get this overall direction of where you should be going and flanking and control. And you could have two people that were playing the general and then fighting human controlled people against each other.
Instead of controlling 15 blocks of things at a time,
you're controlling
up here,
15 actual people,
actual humans.
Couldn't that be cool? And
that
I think
could
we're
be kind of fun,
right? And I think we're almost to the point where computers could handle. Because, you'd have to have, that would have to be 64 players probably.
Wow.
Minimum, yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool, though, to be
That
able
would be
to,
fun.
Right? I love that idea.
I'd probably start yelling at the guy playing the general.
So what happens?
I'm not doing it.
What happens if you don't follow?
I think that's the question. How do you implement it? What happens in real life if you don't follow a general's directions? They shoot you. So
and you're dead.
Yeah. So I think that actually raises a bunch of really interesting questions about how something like that could work. So I don't know. Maybe that's the other answer too, is you have people that are, on the ground saying no, that won't work. There's a line we could go over here, and they could use that, there's a path back up to the general to say there's another way through here, and provide that feedback, and he can then decide which way he wants people to go. So
that would probably be the coolest game ever.
Right? I think it could be a lot of fun. It's kind of a spin on what's kind of getting to be kind of a bit of a tired genre. It still sells like hotcakes, but it's nothing I'm intrigued in anymore.
What about, could we all agree on wanting to see another Silent Hill game?
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah. I think that's the glaring thing that I don't think any of us thought of.
That's the obvious one.
Is the obvious one. Maybe that's just Kojima's new game. Who knows? That game's not coming out for at least 2 or 3 years, so I guess we'll see.
True.
Oh. Death Stranding.
There's another game that needs a new.
Yeah.
Dylan just had an idea or a stroke.
Mad World from
Wasn't
the
that
Wii.
I'm unfamiliar.
Was that the hyper violent one?
Yes, hype is the most.
It was black and white, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was black and white but the blood was red.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that.
Great.
Super violent. Was not at home on the Wii at all, but this game was awesome.
Yeah, and it got stellar reviews too.
Yeah, it was great.
It was tens across the board.
Game. Yeah.
I thought he just meant a sequel to the Tears for Fears song. No.
There's that. And then there I'm thinking of a movie. The movie was called Cool World.
With the cartoon chick?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay. No, I remember that game, and I always wanted to play it. I never got around to it.
It's great.
That sounds awesome.
It's just it's a third-person beat-em-up. But
I like the idea of that aesthetic, though.
I'm trying to remember.
Is it third person or first?
It was a third person. It was pretty tight third-person view. Kind of like Gears of War.
Okay.
That kind of look.
That over-the-shoulder kind of thing.
You have this comic book, black and white aesthetic. It's kind of like Sin City, but it's not as noir contrasty.
Right.
Oh, this game looks real cool.
But But
Like,
yeah,
that was a Wii game.
You could pick up the
really comic booky.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, it looks like a Sin City graphic novel kind
Man,
of.
could we get a good Sin City game?
Yeah.
I just read all
Please.
those comics. That could be great.
Yeah, I love Sin City.
This game looks really cool. I've never heard of it, but my God, is it violent?
It was really well received. It just it was kind of out of place on the Wii because
way out of place on the Wii.
It was very. I mean, the Wii had a couple ultra-violent games like this and Manhunt 2. That just did
That
not
just blows me away.
Did not fit, especially because the motion controls in violent games, like you do stabbing motions. It's like, so what? What? Yeah,
you're not actually out stabbing
whatever.
people.
That could be fun. That could be real fun. I've never heard about it. I really want to play it now. That sounds cool. Next thing, and this will be fast. Minecraft has now. So we talked about Grand Theft Auto sold 75 million copies
Something
like a week or two ago. Minecraft just passed. I got kind of conflicting reports. Somewhere between 120 and 122 million copies.
That's ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I know that I bought like 2 of those copies.
Oh, I have like 12 of them, so I understand how it works. But I mean, I own it on every device it's on, I think. Yeah. But the crazy thing, like that's a huge number. But the game's $20, so or I mean, between $10 and $20, probably depending on where you buy it. So that's that makes sense. But what's crazy is that in June they had 40 million people. Active players a month playing. And so like to contrast that with like World of Warcraft, at its peak World of Warcraft had 15 million. And granted it's a pay game.
At its peak?
Yeah. Which is not now.
That's still a lot of people. Like that is a lot of people.
That shocks me
that
it's that low. I thought there was way more playing it.
And I think now it's only like 8 or 10 million.
Because I know Final Fantasy has got roughly 6 million.
Yeah. World of Warcraft is still the biggest, but 8 or 10. So we're talking 40 million people in June. As of this month, they've got 55 million active players every month. So it's grown 15 million active players in like 7 or 8 months.
Do you think it fluctuates like that from year over year, or what?
As far as I know, like everything having to do with Minecraft is just a hockey stick. Sales, and I mean,
more young people are being born every day.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, every time they release a new update, and there's so many different versions of it now. It's crazy.
So is Minecraft? I bought it. So my nephew could play it, but is it an online like?
It can be. It's not massively multiplayer. If you play with other people, you have to have your own server.
Okay.
With the exception of like I think battle mode on the consoles, you don't. But like if you're playing on a PC and you play with other people, you have to have your own server. So Minecraft actually has its own thing called Realms, which are servers you can rent. So yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, Minecraft is a fascinating thing in that its ecosystem is just janky. Everything about it is janky, but 1 billion people play it. So it's cool.
All right, so moving on into the next bit of news, which I saw this morning half awake and found intriguing and almost made me want to go buy an Xbox.
Yeah, it's cool. It's excuse me, it's called the Xbox Game Pass, and it's brand new. I mean, like literally the news launched this week. I was so glad that we recorded on Tuesday instead of Monday. Because this is a pretty big deal, or at least potentially a big deal. So the idea is there's going to be they're saying 100, and I don't know what they haven't said is that 100 rotating games? Is that 100?
See, and that's where my questions lie, because I thought I read something this morning.
Yeah, and so I don't know, and I'm not sure. But anyway, it's going to be 100 Xbox One and Xbox 360 backwards compatible games that you get access to for $10 a month, which is a pretty good deal-ish. It's probably, I mean, it's hard to compare that to like PlayStation Now, because PlayStation Now is PlayStation 3 games. So is a bunch of PlayStation 3 games for $20 better than 10 for a bunch of potentially new games?
No.
Seems like it. or no, I'm saying the Xbox seems like a better deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the other cool thing about it is this is not a streaming service. This isn't PlayStation Now. This
is
100 games that actually download to your console and you get to play locally. And they're saying that it's Bandai, it's 2K, it's 505. It's Capcom, it's Codemasters, it's Deep Silver, it's Sega, it's SNK, it's THQ, it's Warner Brothers, and Microsoft Studios. So I mean, those are. There's no Ubisoft in there, which is fine. There's no EA, but EA has EA Access, so they don't need to be in there. But I mean, this is really almost the promise of like the Netflix of video games. 100 games that you can. Yeah, it's not quite, but
it's a start. I mean, it's a start.
It's a start, and I think what will be what'll make it become that is whether those are 100 rotating titles or, and I mean, you almost don't want it to be that because it would really suck to be, halfway through a game, they're like, well, this one's rotating out. But I mean, the same thing, I've had that happen on Netflix where you're halfway through a TV series and all of a sudden they're like, hey, that's not on Netflix anymore.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how it works. But I mean, I will buy this day one. They're saying, this is going to launch in late spring, which is within a month
Soon,
or
yeah.
3 from now. It's going to include Halo 5. I mean, Halo 5 is less than a year old, maybe just over a year old. So that's some new stuff. Payday 2, NBA 2K16, and Soul Calibur 2 are the example games that they give. So, that's some pretty top shelf stuff.
Those are things that you will play, or people will play.
And I mean, I pay $5 a month. Well, that's not true. I pay $30 a year for EA access. So it's $250 a month. But I mean, that's only giving me like 15 or 20 games, and half of them are sports games that I don't care about.
Yeah.
So, $10 a month seems like a pretty okay deal with this. And I wouldn't be shocked at all if they end up wrapping this into, you can pay $60 a year for Xbox Live, or you can pay $120 a year or $150 a year for Xbox Live plus this Game Pass. So
yeah, that'd be.
I think it's a cool idea. What do you, I mean, you don't have an Xbox.
I don't have an Xbox. And when I saw this morning, I can't find the article that I read this morning that was talking about it. But from what I remember, that these games that it's offering, it was a rotating group of games that each month they would rotate new ones in and old ones out and vice versa and whatever. And if you wanted to keep any of the ones that you had currently downloaded,
you could buy them.
You would get a 20% discount off the digital purchase.
Well, that could be all right.
Is all right. But at the same time, I mean,
yeah, no, actually, you're right. I'm seeing, where they're talking, these will be rotating.
Yeah, so I like the idea of that because, I mean, if you look at the Netflix model and stuff like that, like they have rotating, series and movies and stuff, but they're usually there for 3 to 6 months at a time.
Right.
However long the licenses they got from the studio. So I'd be curious to see what they're going to do with the video game side of that because, I mean, if there's a game that I find that I really like, then I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
But also, I pay that $10 a month, so I don't have to go buy these games.
Right. I guess it depends how many games are they actually rotating in and out.
Yeah, I mean, if
month.
it's like an 80-20 or 70-30, that might be all right. I mean, I guess maybe you just plan on, hey, if I'm going to, I start this game Jan 1, I better make sure it's finished by, Jan 30. Or hopefully they give, here's what's coming in, here's what's coming out, here's some.
Kind of like Netflix does that. Like, a month or two ahead of time what's going away, but you also know what's coming in and the date they're going to be there.
If they gave me some new games early on in their release that I could try them as essentially a rental service and then get a discount buy them in the long run, I'm in love with that idea.
I wouldn't be shocked at all if you see a lot of like Microsoft first party games show up in this
like day one.
Well, maybe not day one, but like 3 to 6 months. Because you've got that. When you look at game purchases, with a couple of exceptions, you see like, hey, this game's $60 day one, it's $60 week 2, and then hey, maybe it's 50, and then 3 months in it's 35. I wouldn't be shocked at all if it goes 35 and drops in.
Yeah, or maybe but give me the game day one for a week if I'm paying for this service,
which is what EA Access does. Like, I'm very excited to be able to start playing Mass Effect very soon, actually.
But if I can try a game out for some time enough to develop the opinion to buy it, that'd be cool.
I agree. This is actually a really interesting article that I was reading looking for rotating, and they say that they actually are looking at this, or at least the take this article has, is this is actually a shot at GameStop. Like that it's a way to stop used game sales because you won't buy it and then sell it back to them. You'll actually just play it, and you might, instead of trying to go get an old game for cheap and buy it used, you might just pay it on this rental service. So that's kind of an interesting idea.
I'll get my used digital copy.
And that's a whole other like discussion to have too when it comes to like used games. You like used games? Do you think that's a good thing, a bad thing? What do you think? Because I don't know.
I'll leave it to show notes. We should talk about that next time.
Yeah, for sure. But the whole Xbox, this subscription thing, it piqued my interest, that's for sure. Like, I'd never considered buying an Xbox One just because, well, actually, the service is going to be available on Windows 10 as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's on whatever.
So will you be able to play the Xbox games on
Now this is all from what I read half asleep before coffee at 7 a.m.
Should never read before coffee.
Well, I don't know. I tend to do a lot of stupid things before 7 a.m. Like wake up.
Yeah, I was going to say being awake.
Or the whole previous day.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Now you're getting deep. But yeah, from what I remember, it was going to be on Windows 10, on their Xbox service on Windows, and on the Xbox.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, and they're gonna even offer it to, what is it? Select Insider Preview members.
That's coming. Yeah, so there are people that are actually getting to try this today. So we'll probably know more about it.
And then
they may be an NDA too, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, and if you're Xbox Gold member, is that what the Xbox people are called? Something like that. Yeah, Xbox Live Gold. You can you'll get access to the service
earlier
before anybody else does
good.
too.
I'm glad I've paid up.
Well, there you go.
Excellent.
But yeah, it's an interesting service. I really, really, really hope it turns out well, and if it goes as well as I hope, I'll probably join in on my PC.
Well, and you never know too. This might be one of those kind of things where, I mean, the best part of a service like this is it makes Sony go, oh, like, come on, guys, you know. So maybe, I mean, hopefully, either it could lower the price of PlayStation now, or maybe Sony now has to have a competing service. Which, I mean, anything like this that it's innovative, people get so hung up on Xbox is better or PlayStation's better. Like, who cares? Any competition in this gaming space is good for gamers.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, why is it taking so long to get a service in place like Netflix for games? And not just like Netflix is good, like they've got their original content and stuff, and they've got newer movies, on a fairly regular basis. Same with Hulu, same with all those other services. Why is it taking so long to get something like this in place solidly for gaming?
Well, especially when you consider how, I mean, eliminate AAA stuff. There are so many awesome indie titles that you can buy for $10, but I don't think everyone has the same Humble Bundle addiction that I do and has 550 Steam games. But would you be willing to pay $10 a month or $15 a month to have access to a bunch of awesome Steam indie titles?
Well, how much is GameFly?
It's kind of expensive. I just upgraded to 2 discs at a time, and it's $27 a month.
Okay, so let's say you pay $15 a month for a service that doesn't even include any AAA games, because you really don't. I mean, you already know whether or not you're into those franchises, so you're going to go drop the $50-$60 on those games. But you've got hundreds of thousands of games that people want you to see. That need to get out there to be played. And if you're paying $10-$15 a month, I think that's a nominal price to pay. Like you just said, the Humble Bundle, because those are, what, $14 a month, $12?
Well, I mean, and I buy them in other ways too, but yeah.
So, I mean, there's
I think they could work. I think it really could work.
The pricing is already in place for other services.
I mean, frankly, Steam should probably just do it. Like, they own the marketplace. They have all the relationships. Like, I could totally see a Steam-style Netflix thing that people could opt into and put their games in. I mean, there's going to be a lot of garbage in it, but there could be a lot of good stuff in it,
like
too.
Netflix.
Like Netflix. There's a lot of garbage in it.
Well, the thing is, we know this model works. Netflix, Apple Music, Spotify, the WWE Network, like, everything is subscription-based now, and it works.
I like threw in wrestling.
Right, well, even CBS has their... CBS, the major network, has a pay service, though. It's CBS is not free. It's a pay service.
Well, I throw in WWE Network because no one has a better subscription service than they do. It's by far better than everything.
I mean, the
else.
downside is all there is to watch is wrestling.
Yeah, but literally everything.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good, actually.
Archived every single episode ever over the past 20 years is on there.
Holy wow.
Because, I mean, I do love wrestling, but Vince McMahon, who is the owner of the WWE, when he bought out WCW, which was the other big competing wrestling enterprise in the late 90s, like, so when he bought that company, every single episode of that ever is on there.
Oh, that's cool.
He bought ECW, every single episode of that, every pay-per-view ever, all this original content that they produce.
Can I watch my
day.
WWF episodes from like 1988?
Yep. Every single one.
What?
Do you own this thing? Can I come to your house
I
and
pay
watch
$10 a month for this service, so I can watch
awesome to me.
everything that was ever done, and that's why it's literally the best. Like, they literally have everything. It's not rotating in and out; they're just adding to it.
That's cool. That's very cool. That's good stuff. Are you guys ready for our new segment?
Our currently in beta
we'll see
segment. We'll see how it goes.
It's the My Cousin Vinny segment. I absolutely adore this.
I love this guy.
Our good buddy Vinny wrote in. His question for the week is, what game have you played the very, very most? And how long do you think you've played it for you? And what makes that game appealing to you? Adam?
Oh, man. So it actually just popped into my head just a few minutes ago because I'm sitting here trying to think, because I'm not nearly the gamer that you guys are.
No.
For sure. I've just played for a very long time.
You've played a lot of games for a little bit of time.
Yeah, a lot of games for a little bit of time over the last 30 years. The game that I think I've probably spent the most amount of time on is a little game called Amplitude.
Oh.
And
that game's good.
Yeah. Because I DJ in clubs and I produce stuff, so it's like I'm always I love music, and that game had a lot of like popular music, real like artists, Pink and all these other crazy artists from the time.
Interesting. And we were just having a discussion this afternoon about how much we hate Pink. Yeah. Please continue.
Oh, well, her new stuff. I'll show. That's fine. I understand.
That's all of it.
You're terrible people.
I love the song she does with Nate Roos.
You're just
whatever.
She's on that Eminem track. That's pretty dope.
Anyway, Amplitude. Sorry.
What Eminem track?
Are you thinking Dido?
Yeah, you're thinking.
Off his latest album.
No, who cares?
I'll have to check it out.
I hate Eminem too. Go ahead.
Not the latest one, the one before that.
Yeah. So anyway,
Latest
Amplitude, I couldn't tell you how many hours I spent on this game.
But a lot of them.
But I can tell you it was probably months of my life. I'm going to say months.
That's awesome.
Of my life. In fact, one of the reasons I was so excited recently to get this giant TV we have in our basement, because we've got the Xbox 360, the PS3, my PS2, which an ex of mine purchased Amplitude for me in 2002, I want to say. 2001, 2002. Or no, I'm sorry, 2003. And it had been out for a few years at the time, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it was well received. It just,
the games
not a lot of copies of it.
They just died back then. No digital.
So he got it for me, and I flipped out. I was so excited I got this game, and I went home and immediately started playing it again.
Nice.
And it was like 2 years after it come out.
Yeah.
And then when I hooked my PS2 up, I have still got that copy of the game he gave me because it's so hard to find.
Yeah. Have you played it?
Yes,
Nice.
I have, and it is held up. It is great. The new Amplitude sequel they put out on the PlayStation Store recently.
Yeah, kind of garbage.
Yeah, mainly because the music's just, I didn't care for the music in the new one, and some of the
got
weird.
old.
What's that?
I said he got old.
Nah, it's the original one had real people, recognizable artists, recognizable songs that people know. Kind of like, it's like going into Rock Band.
Yeah.
And playing.
Oh, yeah. And that was exactly it. Like the first couple Guitar Heroes, I loved. The music was so good. And I got the new Guitar Hero. I'm like, this is garbage.
Yeah. So that's what it was like.
Yeah,
that's
I get it.
When you compare it. But yeah, so I'm going to say Amplitude is probably the game I spent the most amount of hours on, just because I would get through all the different cities, quote unquote, the different levels and stuff, and then I would try them on different difficulty, which eventually you're using button combinations you never thought you could pull off, and you look like you're not really good at sign language. Your hands are just going all over the place. So yeah,
That's
Amplitude, great game, really good game.
It actually looks kind of like there's a. Oh, gosh, I'm not going to be able to remember.
It's a sequel. Amplitude is a sequel to another game.
Yeah, but there's a Steam game that actually this reminds me a little bit of now that I look at it. Kind of, it's different. Anyway, Dylan.
Or Amplitude was the second game of the same stuff. Anyway,
what are you all about, Dylan?
Well,
what have you wasted most of your life on?
It's probably Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Oh, such a great game.
It's probably one of the only games I've probably played over 100 hours of. Yeah. That's a guess. Again, this game came out, I was 10 years old.
Oh, right. We've had this discussion before. Dylan was drastically not age appropriate to be playing.
Right.
Yeah.
Beating up hookers at age 10.
I did not get this the day it came out by any means, but because I know how I got this game.
I was going to say, because I was probably 22 when that game came out.
How does a 12-year-old buy Grand Theft Auto Vice City?
He doesn't.
Well, you used to be able to, at Blockbuster, your parents could sign a paper that says, with your Blockbuster card, they are allowed to buy things or rent things that are too old for them, right?
Yeah.
So I was able to, and my parents didn't care, but they also were completely oblivious to what.
I was going to say, did they have any idea?
No, but at the same time, like, I'd be in my room playing it, and like, their friends who had older kids that were playing Grand Theft Auto at the time and that was age appropriate for them, knew all about the like beating up hookers thing. So they would always make comments like that. But my parents, I mean, they trusted me and I turned out okay. But
arguably,
yeah.
But I don't know. This game was it was so different at that time. It was leaps and bounds ahead of everything else that was going on. So much story, and I mean, in a 3-dimensional world, right?
And that came out after Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it had motorcycles.
And the thing is, Grand Theft Auto 3 was revolutionary. It was great, but I think
Vice
City
was arguably
really
better.
nailed it. One, I love Scarface. Like, I
Yeah.
love that movie. The Al Pacino one,
Yeah.
obviously. But in this game has a lot of that feeling to
Just
it.
that like 80s Florida aesthetic.
The Florida,
Like
Miami
Vice kind of thing.
the cocaine, the drugs, the gangs,
The neon.
like the neon. I
The music.
love neon. Yeah, the 80s soundtrack. Like
I've actually got somewhere. I've got the box set
of that, yeah.
soundtrack with
Yeah.
all the CDs.
It's good.
and like they had Flock of Seagulls on the trailer for this game. Like
Yeah.
that trailer alone was like amazing. Like I remember just like watching that. I was like, I need to play this game.
Yeah.
And Ray Liotta was the voice of
Yep.
Tommy Vercetti. So I mean, they're introducing like big Hollywood
Yeah.
actors.
It was a big deal.
Into this game, which I mean has gone on to really. I don't know.
Yeah,
who-
that was kind of one
I
of
don't
the
know
first ones that
who did that before
Not
to have that kind of cinematic cutscenes and voice acting in a game. So I think all that together, not that I was really aware of that at the time, because again, I was very young, but that really created an experience that was second to none at that time.
It's a great game. I adored that game. I could actually purchase it for myself because I was over
with
the age
no
of 18.
parental suggestion or guidance.
Yeah, I also had a job that I could pay for it to buy it for myself. So, but it's a great game. It's
was-
just a stunning game.
yeah.
It's so like at the time, I remember how fast it felt. Like
yeah.
GTA 3 was awesome, but I remember Vice City, just like the feeling of speed in that game was incredible.
Yeah, and I think that
And
was
ramming motorcycles.
Yeah,
Always ran motorcycles.
because motorcycles weren't in GTA 3,
Nope.
so you had the motorcycles, you had the helicopters, like this whole different vibe that was.
Yeah.
Could you take a helicopter in that one?
Maybe I don't remember. It's been a long time.
I
that
think-
game came out.
It's funny that your
18 years
parents
ago.
you were playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City at 10 years old, and when I was playing Double Dragon on the original Nintendo, my mom was like, "What is this?
That
What
is
are
so
you playing? This is
violent."
ultra. This is too violent. You shouldn't be playing this." And I'm like, "It's a cartoon punching another cartoon."
Right.
And Dylan's over here beating up hookers.
Yep. Taking the money back.
Yeah, I
It's all
gotta
good.
get my money back.
It's all
Seriously.
good. I like it.
Paid for that.
No. You're a bad person, Dylan. You're a terrible person.
What about? Well, I have a couple of guesses.
Yeah.
For you?
It's both of those.
Oh,
Yeah, my first one's definitely Rocket League. I'm, I don't know, somewhere in the 300 to 450 hour range on that.
oh, wow.
I thought it was about 250, and then I looked the other day on the Xbox, and my Xbox one was, I think, 16 weeks or 18 weeks. I think it was 16 weeks. It was for the last year because that game only came out like about a year ago.
You have a really, really
No, I'm sorry, not weeks. Weeks. That sounds awful. I
Days.
sleep days.
You've got a really, really loving wife, don't you?
I do it real early, so she sleeps.
No
through
one's
most
even
of it.
alive at that time.
Yeah, I play between like 6 and 10 every Saturday and Sunday. And because I play with my brother, and so he's mountain time, so it's between, and his wife works at that time, so it works out okay. And I play a little bit other times, but not a ton. But it's most of my Rocket League is I play like probably between 8 and 10 hours a week, and it's super early in the morning.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
that's good.
So yeah, my wife usually wakes up about 2 or
It's
3.
dedication is what that is.
She wakes up 2 or 3 hours into it, and she sits around and hangs out with me and talks with me and my brother while we play.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have a separate room where you play,
No,
or
I
is
play-
it in the?
Yeah, it's
okay.
my living room. Yeah, and so
You have to be really good at this game.
I think that's the funny thing is you'd think that, and I'm the problem with Rocket League is it's so hard to judge how good you are at it. Because I mean, I think first of all, like you'd think that I play with a bunch of rookies, I'm going to just stomp all over them. And it's not always that way because rookies play so much different than someone who's good.
Right.
So, I mean, when I'm matched up against people of my own, stuff, I can hold my own. I'm not spectacular, but I'm good. But I also don't necessarily play it. Like, I play it very recreationally. Like, I don't spend a bunch of time, like people that want to be good at that game practice.
Right.
And it's not, they don't practice by playing. They practice by going into practice mode and doing the same thing over and over and over and over again until they're really good. Yeah. And I never do that. I play games. I play it for fun.
Yeah.
And so, and I rarely ever play competitively. So, But I mean, like you'd think you'd be good against rookies, but rookies, like it's watching kids play soccer where there's like 3 rookies over in the corner. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
That's how I felt playing yesterday. I was like everyone's just like steaming towards the ball.
Yeah, I'm like, hey guys, I centered it. Oh, you're all in that corner still.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I centered again. Oh, you're still all chasing each other.
I should have a better understanding of how soccer actually works.
Yeah,
I don't.
And I will say though, like I'm a big soccer person, not just rocket soccer. And so I think that it is a lot of fun. And so I think it actually does give me kind of a better insight into how Rocket League should play. I mean, obviously there's a lot less people, but
fundamentally it should be kind of the same thing. Yeah. Obviously the ball has to be centered to the goal to have a better opportunity to score.
Yeah, and so you start understanding how to rotate and how to pass the ball forward and that kind of thing. So yeah, I probably should, considering how much I've played it, I should be better at it than I am. But I just play it because I love the game. And I wish his question was what made the game so appealing to you, and I wish I could answer that question. I love this game so much, and I can't tell you why. Like, there's no other sports game that I really get into. Yeah. Maybe it's because I love soccer. I don't know, but I love it.
I think I can try to answer that for you, just from like why. I'm not gonna like put words in your mouth, but I think I love this game a lot too. I don't play it as much as you, but I love when games are that balanced.
Yes.
You are literally 3 cars against 3 cars with a ball with physics. Yep. Like that's all the game is.
Yeah, there's no.
You're not getting buffs.
Nothing.
You're not loading out your character. You're not doing all these things and worrying about how matchups things. And it's not a game that needs nerfs and buffs and all these things to keep the gameplay fair. It is always the same.
All the cars are pretty much the same.
Every game is different.
Yeah, and I think the thing that makes it good for me too is that it's fast. Like a game never lasts more than I guess
5
you go
minutes
into overtime.
If you go overtime,
5-6 minutes, and then it's over, and then you play another one, and win, lose, whatever. And I like that I can see myself getting incrementally better. Like there are things that I can do now that I couldn't do 100 hours ago. Yeah. So,
and there's never going to be a time where you're blaming Rocket League though either.
Yeah.
It's you can just miss the ball completely.
Or more appropriately, when me and my brother play, because we play 3 players. That means the third person is always a rando. I'm like,
it's the other
guy. Man, our third sucks. It's never my fault.
Yeah,
always our third.
Yeah, it's not. There's not some crazy map that you're stuck on other than Tokyo or things that kind of
different levels.
Yeah,
okay.
Which I did play that yesterday, and I was like, yeah, this is. Annoying.
I've been playing Tokyo for I don't even know how many hours now, and I think I'm almost to the point where I'm adequate at it.
I just stay down below and wait for the ball to come down. Like I'm just like, no, I'm not even gonna try, because every time I like try to drive up there, I look like a fool.
Yeah.
But to me, that's why I like the game. True. Is just because I'm never mad playing it. If I lose and we just get stomped, I'm like, oh well, on to the next game, because it's just like you're just gonna get matched up bad, or I mean, sometimes you just hit the ball just right and it goes in, and you weren't even really anticipating that. So it's just like playing. I mean, I played a lot of sports growing up. You're going to get beat. Like, you're never going to win all the time. And sometimes you're going to play really well. So it does translate better than even sports games do to, playing sports.
But I think that's the thing is like sports games, because you know how soccer plays, you know how basketball plays, you know how football plays, you play them as a video game, you're like, this feels kind of like that sport. But because there's no analog to ramming a ball with a rocket car, you can say like, oh, this feels exactly like you think it would.
Right.
Not like, oh, that pass felt kind of janky in in FIFA, or like that pass, I don't really. So maybe that's
and like in other like NBA, whatever NBA game, it's like characters have stats and things. So it's like a really good player in NBA that you're playing as is going to be really good. And like we would play these, like in college, I would play one of the old NBA games on an old PS2 that someone in my dorm had, and we would play that. And it was just, you could cast off from the 3-point line. There was no and you would consistently make those shots that would never happen in a real game. Yep. And it was like those moments you could do that, but is that fun? Is that, I don't know. Yeah. It's just kind of weird. It's not balanced.
All right, cool. Well, there's the official beta testing of My Cousin Vinny.
The second game I played the most was Skyrim. You were right.
Oh, was it?
About 140 hours.
Oh, okay. I was right. I knew it. So one thing you are going to be spending a lot of time playing, I know this, and hopefully there's a game timer counter on it, is the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
Because that is coming out this week.
I will have mine Friday.
Yeah. I might if I go to the midnight sale, whatever, opening drop of it somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah, the good news is that if you haven't pre-purchased one, like, shame on you. Specifically you, Adam. No. You were on vacation when it happened, so...
Was I?
Yeah, you were in Vancouver?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Maybe? I don't know,
Something.
Portland, somewhere.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I go places.
Yeah. But like if you didn't get one and you still want one, they're still available. Best Buy is reportedly going to have them. Target is reportedly going to have them.
Target,
and
Best Buy, some GameStops. They're going to be out there. Walmart will. They're going to be out there.
Yeah.
It's just going to be super, super limited supply.
Yeah.
Of course, which is fine. It's a game system launch. That's what they're going to do.
And so I guess I obviously bought into the hype and bought myself one, and I bought myself some Zelda, and so I'm pretty sold on it. I like the lineup. I like the stuff that's coming out launch day. I like there's so much good indie stuff coming out. So I'm aboard the hype train. Choo choo. What do you guys think?
Well, and that's why I put this in here, just because it's happening. This is the week, and we're going to. It's probably going to be the majority of what we talk about next week. I just want to know, leading up to it, real quickly, do you think that it's going to have? Are you hopeful for it? Are you fearful for it? Do you good, bad? What is your take right now? People are listening to this the day before the Switch is out. What do you think? I'm excited for it. I just really, 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 really hope they don't F it up like they did with the Wii U.
I mean, I think the good news is if you look at sales numbers, they purportedly have pre-sold about 2 million of these. So if you do the math,
they're almost there.
Yeah, like it's real close. They sold in the entire lifetime of the Wii U. They only sold 13 million. So like they're not quite 20% of the way there, but it's a solid 15, 17% of the way in sales numbers. So I think that's a good sign. They've ramped up production to produce more. They were initially kind of conservative in how many they made. They've ramped that up because they're selling them. But I like what I've been seeing. I would say that a lot of people are concerned about a lack of AAA games. You're never going to get Call of Duty on this. You're never going to get.
Well, let you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think you're ever going to get Call of Duty on this system. I don't think you're ever going to get some of those big. They've said like there's not going to be a Borderlands for this. There's not going to be a Titanfall for this. There's not going to be those games. Those studios have said like no, it can't be. You're going to get Skyrim for it, which might mean eventually you might get Mass Effect, you might get Fallout, you might get those things. And I want to say that those things aren't important. Because I don't think they
think they're important for Nintendo.
For this system, yeah.
Yeah, for Nintendo they're not. But I mean, like specifically at the launch with the number of games that are coming out along with it.
It's light.
It's real light.
Yeah.
Does that worry you at all?
No, because I've seen if you want to buy a physical game, it's light. But there's a lot of digital stuff coming out, and a lot more coming out within a month. And I think that the thing that they're doing right is they've recently announced that, or I've seen places, I don't know if they announced it, that a dev kit for this is going to be like $450. So
is that good?
That's great.
Oh,
that's
okay.
real cheap. Which means that what you're going to see is a bunch of good indie developers making stuff for this, which I think is super important because that wasn't something you saw a lot of on the Wii U. And I think that the complaint about the Wii U is all we had was great first party stuff and nothing else.
Right.
And so I think that if you could have great first party stuff and a lot of really top shelf indie games, this can be a successful system. I mean, I would have loved to play Inside on this. I would have loved to play any of those kind of indie games that we've talked a lot about recently would be great on this. Hyper Light Drifter would be great on this. Always Awakening would be great on this. Ori would probably be great on this.
Would be fantastic.
Ori's
fantastic on anything.
Anywhere. And so these would all work there. And none of those are AAA games. And
but they're some of the best games I think you could probably
best
find
indie
anywhere.
Games. And so like having a solid third party support on this from from an indie prospect could be great. And you're already seeing, like I was saying, this came out today. Ukulele is going to come out on the Switch, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's a
new Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah,
new Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. Overcooked, which is a killer multiplayer. We're going to play this. I bought it the other day. We're going to play it. You're
Party
in a kitchen.
game.
Yeah, it's a kitchen, and so like Adam's in charge of cutting onions, and Dylan is in charge of, flipping burgers, and I'm making fries, and we all have to come together to make a a sandwich. And if I screw up, it screws up the both of you, and we've got to overcook something out. That's going to be great.
This next one too, I didn't realize they were going to make another one.
Yeah, Blaster Master Zero.
That's fun.
And
that was
Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
like Stardew Valley is probably the biggest indie game of last year. So they're getting this support, and I think that's going to be imperative. And is that as good as having 20 million copies of Grand Theft Auto 5? No, probably not. But does it need to be?
It doesn't need to. You've already got the places to play those games. So I get it, and I understand it. I'm just really keeping my fingers crossed.
I wish they had more games coming out at launch, but at the end of the day, like I saw an informal Twitter study, so take that where you will. Like 90% of people buying this also bought Zelda. So, right there, you've got 40 hours of stuff to do. That's going to keep you busy until all this other stuff comes out. So
right. Cool. So we'll talk more about the Switch, obviously, next week.
I'm going to be streaming as much Zelda as I can. I don't know if I'll do it live or if I'll do it recorded. That's a question I actually really have for people. Like, people watch stuff I play on YouTube. Like, do you like it live so you can talk to me? Do you like it recorded without commentary? Do you like it recorded with commentary? Do you want to see my ugly face while I do these videos?
Well, we all want to see
what do people actually want when they...
Yeah, I'd love to know what people want, because I see all of those things, and I'm not sure which one I like the best.
Well, don't your Twitch streams stay, like, after you're done streaming it, don't they just stay there for people to replay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm actually doing it all on YouTube. But either way, I'd be interested to see like how people want to how they want to see gameplay videos.
Right. And so like I said, next week we'll be talking more about it. You'll be doing Zelda, streaming it, playing it. Speaking of Zelda, my friend Mikey Mann down in Portland.
Yes.
If you've been following our page on Facebook and on Twitter, and I know you guys, I don't know even if I really asked you if I could do that, so I just started doing it. So my friend Mikey down in Portland, met him last year, super huge Nintendo guy, loves video games. Come to find out, Zelda is basically his life force. His jam, his thing.
I think you could say he is a Zelda superfan.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
And he is currently in the middle of his Week to the Wild countdown, counting down his 7 biggest favorite games in the Zelda franchise from number 7 to number 1. Time of recording, we're only halfway through it, so I won't.
Couple days left.
Yeah, so next week we'll go through the whole thing. But some of the things that he's already had are like Link's Awakening, The Minish Cap, and Link to the Past. None of those are at the number 1 spot, which kind of makes me wonder.
Right.
So I'm really excited because Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda game. Granted, there's some that I haven't played. Yeah. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, I'm actually very intrigued to play Zelda because I don't know how I loved Zelda on the SNES and then just kind of stopped playing it for 20 years.
Yeah, basically.
I played a couple of the 3DS games and not much else. So.
Well, I picked the Link Between Worlds up for the 3DS, and it's basically, a Link to the Past.
Which is great. I love it. I bought it recently too, and it's fun.
Yeah,
but
I really like it.
I'm very intrigued because I didn't play any of the Majora's Mask or Windwalker or any of those games, so I'm excited about this. But yeah, no, go.
What have you guys thought about his countdown so far?
Oh, I loved it. Seeing his, I was going to say, the way you know you're a super fan is when you have a, 5x5 foot display case full of all your Zelda stuff. Like that's when you're taking this very seriously. I think it's great. I've loved everything I've read so far. He seems like a cool guy. We should have him. Yeah, he can drive up from Portland.
He's a great guy.
Come hang
out. A lot
of
fun. Yeah. So yeah, but if you're interested in following that, if you're on our Facebook page, you should totally check it out, or on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because he's got great collections of stuff like Nintendo Power Badges. Of Zelda, stuff that he's found on eBay, just this great huge collection, and he knows his stuff when it comes to Zelda. He knows where games fall in the overall canon of stuff and who got where, how, and all this great stuff. So
give the dude a follow on Facebook and Twitter too. He's got some really good gaming insights. I think you'll like it.
Absolutely. And we'll go through the entire list, recap it next week once the Switch is out and we know everything there is to know.
Oh, you want to talk free games?
I love free games.
I do too. And again, not really free because you have to have games with gold. But
it's close
if you don't have games with gold, what's wrong with you?
Well, I don't have an Xbox.
You got PS Plus, though?
Yes, I do.
See, so there's nothing wrong with you, Adam. I mean, besides all the things that are wrong with
you. Except for not having an Xbox.
Yeah, it's fine. I sleep at night.
So, by the time you listen to this, today is Tuesday, so these games will all be out. first one is Layers of Fear, which I watched the video today for, and it looked real dumb. But
That's we're going to say a completely different word.
Right? But it has got incredible ratings. My brother played it and said it's really fun. So I think it's just got a terrible trailer.
Okay.
He says it's short.
Sometimes.
Yeah, he says it's like 3 hours. So nothing wrong with a 3-hour like psychological horror game that centers around a painter.
Okay.
Not like a painter of houses, but a painter of paintings.
Like an artistic
Yeah, he's
painter.
crazy apparently.
Oh.
It like I said, the trailer looked terrible, but apparently it, like I said, everyone who played it liked it. So there's nothing wrong with giving that a go. I'm not a big horror guy, but maybe it's only 3 hours long. Maybe I'll power through that. That'd be all right.
All right. Evolve.
Yeah, Evolve.
What is that?
Evolve is an interesting game, and the only thing
I know this game.
Yeah,
I never played it, but this is the game that I always think somebody's talking about because I always think it's a different name, and I always get let down because it's not the game they're talking about. I want to play this game.
See, and like I've always kind of wanted to play it too. So this is kind of the game that defined that 4v1 genre that kind of came out and everyone said like, oh, that's going to be awesome. Then Evolve came out and it wasn't. And like, I don't know, I think recently like 5 4v1 games have been canceled. The interesting thing about Evolve, and so like if you don't know what it's about, is it's a 5-player multiplayer game where 4 of you play the hunter and 1 of you plays the monster. And obviously the hunters are trying to kill the monster and the monster's trying to kill the hunters. Came out to kind of okay reviews. But recently, like on the PC, it went from a paid game to a free-to-play game. The free-to-play version of it never made consoles, so in theory, it's still a paid game on consoles unless you get it free here. But I think it's published by, I want to say 2K maybe, like just took the game back from the developers and told the developers they aren't going to get to work on it anymore, so like support ended for it, but they're going to keep the servers up. I don't know, like it seems like it sounded like a really cool game when it came out, but and like I mean get it because it's free and it might be fun, but I kind of wonder how long you're going to be actually able to play it.
That seems very weird. I actually did buy this the day it came out.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I didn't play it very much because I got it at a weird time where I just didn't have time to play it, but I was super excited about it.
Yeah.
And it
conceptually, it sounds awesome.
And it's not bad at all. It's cool. It was
one of those kind of games I think like it came out and it wasn't exactly what people thought it was going to be. And then they had some DLC stuff that was really bad. Like there's a bunch of DLC that wasn't included in their seasons pass that got kind of a bad taste in people's mouth, and then they did this weird buy it. No, now it's free, and then
so people just kind of were like, we're done.
I think it was just bad marketing almost. So
now they're just like, here, take it.
Go. Right.
And I'm not sure if this is exactly true or if my memory is not the best of it, but I think because there's all these different characters that you can play.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like 4 characters that you're always playing.
Yeah.
You can pick different classes to build a team comp to fight the monster or whatever. Just like there's a couple different monsters as well.
Sure.
But you had to play to unlock things for that character. I don't like doing that, so I was immediately turned off.
Yeah. Well, I heard too. I think there's a single player. Like maybe you can play it with bots too.
Yeah, I think so.
So I guess even if they turn the servers off, maybe you can still play it single player.
Yeah.
I'll download it. I'll try it.
Yeah,
we'll
I might. I want to try it again just to make sure I didn't miss something that I would have liked more. And again, this is probably a game if you had 3 buddies to play it with.
Probably 4 buddies.
4 buddies, I guess, and take.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird too because do you play with 5 people or do you?
Yeah. Or let the stranger be the monster.
Have the stranger be the monster. I don't know.
This one's not available until the 16th of March, so you've got 2 weeks to worry about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Throw my disc in my Xbox and try to play it and
give it a go.
The next one though that's going to be available.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. And I don't even have an Xbox.
Right. Borderlands 2. And the reason I'm most excited about this is I'm like, I don't know, a quarter of the way through Borderlands 2, and I stopped playing it because it was only on my 360, and I don't play my 360 very often, so now I can play it on my Xbox One. Save will come over, and I can finish Borderlands 2. So
I bought the Handsome Collection or whatever on PlayStation for it was like $17 for a good game. Borderlands 2 and the prequel.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I started, and it's funny, I was like, I'm going to start with the prequel just so I could get the lead up into Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
So, and it's such a fun series of games.
They're funny, and the loot's great in it. Like the guns are terrific. Everything about it's great. I played the first one in two. It's really funny because I played it in 2 play sessions a year apart. I played the first half Extra Life one year. I played the second half of it in Extra Life the next year.
Nice.
It's amazing, and the story's great. The characters are great. And everything about it's great. So
I'm excited to hear your description of the next game.
Oh wow!
Just because in the show notes that's a great little annotation.
So so this game's called Heavy Weapon. It comes out again on the 16th. So Borderlands March 1st through the 15th. This is another Xbox backward compatible game that's the 16th through the 31st. And my literal show notes is this one looks pretty awful.
I'm watching the YouTube video. You linked to the notes.
It looks pretty awful, right? So it's a game.
Do you remember that game? What was it called? Mission Control or something on the Atari?
Right? Yeah.
Where you were the little thing and you had to shoot the lasers up to the spaceships that were coming in.
Right.
That's what this looks like.
And the only difference is it's actually a side scroller.
Oh yeah, you're moving.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, okay.
And so like I figured it was not a good sign when I went out to look for like a trailer to this game, and as far as I can tell, they never made one. The game came out 10 years ago, so like it's an old Xbox game, made by PopCap, the folks that make Plant vs. Zombies.
They make
Peggle and Bejeweled,
That's
right?
Weird.
They're actually local too.
What?
They're in Seattle.
I need some more Peggle in my life,
Right?
people.
I love Peggle.
That would be up there with the Amplitude.
Right? Yeah, I spent a lot of time playing that. But yeah, this is like a side scroll. You play as like a little tank thing, I guess.
You're a tank shooting at airplanes that are dropping bombs at you. Oh, look, there's a snowman.
It is the most Flash game looking Xbox game I've ever seen. Like, I guarantee you that I could go online and find a way to play this free in a browser. It looks awful. Maybe it plays great. When it comes out, I'll give it a try, but it looks terrible.
He just got a nuclear.
Yeah.
Nuke.
It's a heavy weapon.
I'm having a real hard time imagining that this is anything good. But hey, I have been wrong before. It didn't appear to have like bad ratings. I mean, I think it was just kind of middle of the road.
It might be good. I'm not going to play
Maybe
it.
this could be our guilty pleasure game. It seems.
There's so many other games out there that could be a guilty pleasure game. Please don't make it this one.
Right? Yeah. I'll when it comes out, I'll throw up a video of it. We'll see what it looks like.
Oh, there's a boss coming in now.
It may actually be. I'll throw up a video of it. We'll see.
Oh wow, this looks terrible.
Yeah,
don't do it. Thank God it's free.
Yeah, don't pay for this game.
Well, if we ever wanted PopCap to give us some free stuff, we're kind of screwed now.
I love Plants vs. Zombies,
everything else,
Garden Warfare 1 and 2, and Plants vs. Zombies, and Peggle, and Bejeweled.
Peggle's my jam.
They make some fantastic games. This was not one of them. It was 10 years ago. Like a lot of
They're
changed.
still finding their footing.
Exactly.
Peggle was out 10 years ago.
I know.
Anyway, so there's that.
I think that's it for this week.
Is it?
I think so.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Next week
We'll have business cards.
Oh well, what?
I bought business cards. Right?
That's not what I was expecting.
I know,
to
right?
Say.
I did it on vacation.
You surprised me a lot today with some of the things you were saying.
I think they'll be here tomorrow.
Well, all right.
I know,
Who are we going to give them to exactly?
I bought them so when I go to Comic-Con, I give them to cosplayers. Like, check us out. I'll take a picture of you and then check us out. I don't know. It just seemed like something you should have, right?
I guess sure.
Absolutely.
We'll take them to PAX.
Which I've never been to PAX.
We're going to PAX.
I want to go.
It's going to be great.
Super fun.
Anyway, you can find us, bitemepodcast.com.
BYTE.
Exactly. And same thing on Facebook and the Twitters and the YouTubes. You cannot find us there because we don't have a name yet.
Oh, you guys subscribe.
41 subscribers. We need
41. Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah, we need 59 more.
Well, that's 59?
Yes, that makes 100.
Oh, yeah, math.
It's the coffee.
Math.
But go to bitemepodcast.com. You can find a link to our YouTube stuff. I put stuff up there. And very soon it is going to be full of Zelda and Horizon Zero Dawn videos because I'm going to play both of those for probably the next, month.
Ever?
Yeah.
For the next ever? That's what I'm going
So those will be good. Maybe we'll throw up some of these games with gold games so you can try. I see them before you downloaded them for free. I don't know where the barrier to entry there is, but.
And I need to get something to record my gameplay for my PS. Well, my PS4, I've got it set to record the last 15 minutes of everything.
Is that the longest you can record?
I don't think it's the longest you can record. I think that's just the default setting.
Yeah, because like the Xbox, there is a limit. I think it's only 5 minutes or 15 minutes.
So I know with my PC, I can set it to auto record.
Oh yeah,
I've got it set for the last 5 minutes just in case.
Oh, because
Ori, I wanted to make sure that if something cool happened, I got it.
When I play on my PC, I just record everything.
So you're smart.
Yeah.
Anyway,
whatever.
All right, find us online, follow us, like us, tweet us.
Yeah, check us out on Podcast One. You can listen to us there. iTunes, Google Play.
Google Play. That's where I listen.
Stitcher.
if you like us, you can review us on any of those things. It helps us get more listeners, or more people can find us. So if you like us, that would be lovely. If you hate us, don't do it.
Well, if you hate us, that's fine too.
No, shut up, Adam.
Yeah.
All right.
Go away.
If you hate us, why are you still listening? That's the question.
How did you make it to the end?
It's an hour and a half of God. These guys suck.
You're a troll. Go back under your.
Anyway, have a great week.
See you next week.